Is everyone on?
Yes, sir.
I don't see Councilman Burns. Oh, there he is. Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. Appreciate, and ladies, appreciate everyone attending. Today's date is April 28th, 2020. It's a special town council meeting, a Zoom virtual meeting called for 5 p.m. Time is approximately 5:02 p.m. Meeting officially called to order. I need my mallet, but the meeting is officially called to order. Lisette, call roll, please.
Mayor Singer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Einstein.
Here.
Councilmember Bernstein.
Here.
Councilmember Luskin.
Here.
Councilmember Mendel.
Here.
Okay.
Hold on, Mayor, real quick. So, Madam Clerk, at this time, go ahead and mute everyone. Mayor, you're going to have to unmute yourself, and I'll unmute myself. And then members of the council, when your name is called, unmute yourself. And residents, if you have a question or if you wish to speak during good and welfare, you unmute yourself then. Let's go ahead and mute everyone.
Okay.
Mayor, you need to unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There you go.
I got it.
First of all, I want to welcome everybody. I appreciate everyone attending. For those who are in the public, not part of town administration or the council, you will be able to participate in good and welfare at the end of the meeting. I urge you to please hold off all questions and comments till we get to good and welfare. We changed the order around the last few meetings for these special council meetings. So we try to explain everything first, and then we can open it up for good and welfare. But first is the mayor's report. And again, I hope everyone is safe and trying to stay sane. I appreciate everyone's patience and, with the uncertainty, to stay at home order. I appreciate everyone accepting that and adapting to that. There are going to be some changes. I'm about to issue a executive order number 3, which is easing restrictions of safer at home order. And this is in accordance with Miami-Dade easing of restrictions. It is that the intention of the town of Golden Beach is also going to ease certain restrictions to allow for outdoor recreation, which is important for mental and physical health of the community. So effective midnight, April 29th, which is tonight, 2020, residents only will be allowed to use the town's 9 designated parks and open spaces between the hours of sunrise and sunset for passive use only. For the purpose of this executive order, the definition of passive use is walking, jogging, and cycling. Visitors and guests are required to wear face masks at all times when outside of the home, except when they're in their backyard. Anyone providing a service to the residents is required to have a mask on, and in the home and out of the home, which will be enforced. All visitors coming to Town Hall are also required to wear a mask. At Tweedle Park, the basketball court and the tennis court and pickle court will be open for individual basketball shooting and singles tennis and pickleball playing. No more than 2 people per court. The tot lot and the dog park will remain closed. The beach and the beach pavilion is going to remain closed. That is under the Dade County ordinance. Okay. No program or organized sports or activities will be allowed. Other amenities which will remain closed are the restroom buildings, the shelters, the exercise equipment, and the playgrounds. Social distancing and use of face coverage while outside is still in place and will be enforced, obviously except when exercising. Boat fueling will be allowed. Starting May 4th, the following services will be allowed: regular landscaping, meaning total landscaping, house staff, pet grooming, car washing, all deliveries, and home maintenance will be allowed effective May 4th. That's Monday. Now, starting May 6th, construction sites may have 2 people on the site to prep their location for limited and open. I plan on opening construction sites May 11th with new rules that the town manager and I are in the process of going through. The submergency order will become effective April 29th, obviously at midnight tonight. The building department next week will be open 2 days a week. The town manager will go through that, and that's for pretty much updating permits, and residents that are doing construction or new construction, they can come to town hall, and the building department will be open 2 days next week. I know this has been confusing times for a lot of people, but every day the situation changes. You know, it was reported today that there's still 35,000 or 33,000 new cases of the coronavirus, and deaths are still on the rise. So even though we've plateaued apparently with this opening of the open spaces, hopefully it remains that. I can tell you right now, if it doesn't work, you're going to see Dade County and Golden Beach to follow us to lock it down as quickly as we opened it up. Because again, a resident safety is the utmost important to us. I can't urge you to remember the following. Keep your social distancing, wear a mask whenever possible, please. You're gonna have to get used to start to wearing masks, except for exercising. We haven't heard it much, but you gotta keep continuing to wash your hands. That's very important. And if you don't feel good, stay home. That goes for our residents, that goes for our staff, that goes for the council. If you're not feeling good, common sense, stay home. You know, my Friday messages, hopefully they're not getting old, but I wanted to keep the residents, you know, well informed and engaged with the most updated information. We're going to continue these messages until this virus is over. Hopefully you can tolerate me a few more weeks, okay? I can assure you that the town manager and myself are up to date with everything that's going on. He and I talk probably 10 times a day, if not more, but we're on calls with state, federal, and local authorities at least once a day, some days as much as twice a day. Again, I urge everyone to lead by example, you know, with your social distancing and wearing the mask and still staying at home. The stay-at-home order is still in effect until the end of the month, unless the governor extends it, which he could possibly still do, because the latest conversations, I don't think they're going to open restaurants or hotels until the earliest, the middle of May, but probably the latest of May. And beaches are probably going to be after Labor Day. Okay, so we're going to have to be a little patient. I urge you, you know, again, I appreciate everyone's patience. We're going to get through this. We all have to stay positive. I can't believe we made it this far and this long with doing exactly what we've done. If I would have told everyone 6 months ago that we're going to have to stay at home for 35 plus days, and with these restrictions, you guys would have laughed at me. So with that, that's pretty much all my mayor's comments. I'm going to turn it over to the town manager. But before I do, again, I know we always do this, but I have to thank the town manager, the town staff, the police department for really rising to the occasion. I mean, these guys are at risk 100% of the time, especially our police department, and they have not missed a beat. The chief, his command staff, his support staff has been phenomenal. Chief, I know you're on the call. I really appreciate everything that you do. Town staff, I appreciate everything that you do. Department heads, thank your staff for myself, and I'm sure the council will echo my appreciation. But we can't thank you guys enough. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the town manager with his report. Alex?
Mayor, if it's okay with you, what I'd like to do is first just talk about COVID-related issues, and then have the council comments, and then give my manager report, because if the council has questions or concerns, I can address it during my manager report. Is that okay with you?
I'd rather you give your manager report and then do it, okay?
All right, so we'll do the manager report and COVID report then together. So as the mayor just mentioned today, he's going to be signing the third executive order as it relates to governing the town's rules and procedures. There'll be a code red e-blast that goes out tonight to our residents, letting them know what the new rules are. Let me first apologize. Yesterday, we sent out an e-blast related to IDs and ID carrying in town. We then sent a corrected email this morning. As it relates to when the county open parks, which is tomorrow, as a reminder to all of our residents, at our tennis courts and in Twiddle Park, you're required to have an ID if an officer asks you for ID. The same thing with the beach pavilion for when the beach pavilion opens. So because of that, we're trying to get as many of our residents to sign up for a resident ID card. So if you, I know that the tone of that email was a little bit harsh and it seemed very authoritarian. We apologize. We did send out a corrected email this morning. Our goal is just to have residents have a convenient ID for when an officer asks. As the mayor mentioned, we are opening all of our parks tomorrow. And we will be enforcing the county rules as it relates to mask wearing, to groups of homes that if people are walking together that aren't part of the same home, social distancing. At the tennis courts, only 2 people per court, so no inviting people for training and the like. We're going to be using all of our beach attendants to be monitoring our parks from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please, as a reminder, we ask everyone to please wear their masks when they're out and about. There was also an email that went out as it relates to crime activity. In Golden Beach, luckily we have not had any incidents in Golden Beach. But our neighbors to the south in Golden Gate Estates did have an incident occur this weekend. And so we're wanting to be proactive and let our residents know that they should do their part to help keep the community safe. So those were the 2 e-blasts that went out yesterday. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention. As it relates to enforcement actions, the town has been aggressive in enforcing our stay-at-home order and enforcing the rules in Golden Beach. As we now come to a new executive order where we're going to be allowing the easing of the rules, we will still be vigilant. This is not a time to allow groups to come to your house. In Florida and in Dade County, there's still a limit to no more than 10 individuals at any gathering. So when you're out and about, just make sure that you try to keep your social distancing and try to stay safe. It's important as our marinas open that if you see any unusual activity on the waterways that you let our police know. Starting Monday, all deliveries will be allowed. All maintenance in your home will be allowed. There's no need to call ahead. That's all going to be allowed. And like the mayor mentioned, at the construction sites, we're going to start easing. As it relates to town's business, I'm not going to, as it relates to town's business and COVID-related matters. One, the number of homes in Golden Beach that have COVID is unknown. I know that a lot of our residents are asking how many homes. We do have confirmed 9 cases now in Golden Beach. Those 9 cases could all be in 1 or 2 homes. It could be 9 different homes. We aren't given the exact data, but there are now 9 cases in Golden Beach of COVID. And in fact, just this past Sunday night, one of our cases had to be taken to the hospital via ambulance. So there are 9 active cases in Golden Beach, and we're trying to do everything that we can to stop the spread. That's why the Mayor Singer's executive orders have been enforced to the fullest extent allowable to us. Our costs related to COVID-19 related costs to the town have been very minimal. We have applied for FEMA relief as it relates to our non-personnel costs and our personnel costs. Fortunately, it seems like the FEMA may be helping with some of our personnel and non-personnel costs. Know that our costs to date, we have a separate code to monitor all of our expenses, and we'll be seeking relief in that respect. Our revenues so far, we're only projecting a loss of revenue as it relates to our non-ad valorem revenues. The mayor and I have been going through our budget to see where we could tighten our belt. Fortunately, in our budget, we had some projects that we know that we can put the brakes on. So the financial health seems pretty solid. We'll be bringing to the council at the April town council meeting the audit so that you can review it. Just yesterday, Mayor Singer and I went through all of our line items to look at where there are potential savings. The mayor has signed off on our action plan, which we'll be sharing with you in the coming days, if not the coming weeks, as it relates to this year. Maria and I have already begun the 2021 budget. We're expecting, for planning purposes only, about a 20% reduction in our revenues. So just know that we're on top of it. Residents know that our primary objective is to make sure that we protect your assessed values, that we protect your investment, but still provide you with the services that you need in order to call Golden Beach your home. So budget is at the forefront of everything that we do, and know that your mayor and council expects us to protect your investments, and we've been doing so. As it relates to our capital improvement project, this coming Monday, there'll be a CIP meeting with the team. We intend to keep our CIP project moving forward. We do not believe that any of our projected revenue models show us having a need to delay our CIP project. The goal is to bring to the council at the May meeting a contract for award as it relates to our CIP project. So that we're moving forward. Your team has been working these last 6 weeks via Zoom meetings and behind the scenes and pushing the CIP project forward. The town's audit, like I mentioned, will be brought to you in the coming days. Residents who live on Ocean, it's extremely important that you bear in mind that the stay-at-home order applies to you as well. We cannot allow fishing, launching of jet skis from our ocean, so please, when the police ask you to obey their commands, work with them. Census update. A majority of our residents are having issues when it comes to the census because there's no Golden Beach option. I can assure you without doubt, 100% certain, that all of the homes are geotagged for Golden Beach and Golden Beach will get credit for it. I was on with the undersecretary of the census for the Miami region. She has confirmed in writing to us that the homes that are geotagged for Golden Beach will be counted for Golden Beach. As the mayor mentioned, starting next week, the building department will be open on Wednesday and Friday for permitting. So if this is the time, if you've been at home and you're seeing some renovation projects or things that need to be fixed, starting Wednesday and Friday of this week, and starting Monday the 11th, construction with restricted rules will be allowed. This is important for all of our residents to share with their visitors and their guests. We will have a zero tolerance policy as it relates to mask wear by people who are coming to town to provide services. Yesterday was the deadliest day in Florida for COVID-19. We will not allow that to come to Golden Beach. So if you're going to be providing us a service, whether in the house or out in the yard, you're required to wear a mask. The penalty for not wearing a mask is a civil violation of $500. So mask will be required for anyone who's providing us services. That is in our executive order, and it is enforceable by Florida statutes, and we will be enforcing that. So residents, we need you to do your part when somebody comes to the house to tell them to wear their mask. For our residents, if you're having a hard time finding masks, we have been providing masks for our most vulnerable population at the substation. So if you need masks, we just took delivery of a couple hundred masks. Please stop by the substation. They're not for you to hoard, but if you need one, we have them. We also gave all of our residents hand sanitizers this past week. We do have a couple of hand sanitizers left, and we just procured 50 gallons of it that hopefully will be delivered at the end of the month. So we're trying to make available to our residents as much as we can. I just want to say this. The mayor and I have been on the phone probably about every half hour throughout this COVID-19. And so we've been working with the state, the county, and the federal government to make sure that we're trying to get as many resources as we can to the city, that we keep our projects moving along while we've all been working remotely or in the office, as I am today, to keep the community safe. There's a certain group of people that I'd like to recognize. First, our public works crews. Our public works teams have been coming in 3, if not 4 times a day to keep our community looking as pristine as it is. So thank you to them. 2, our police department. Our police department has been working around the clock under the direction of Chief Rebello and the lieutenants to keep our community safe. And through their efforts, we haven't had any issues. We hope that when we open our parks tomorrow and when we open our community on Monday, that we'll continue to see very little issues in Golden Beach. But it will take all of us working together to ensure that Golden Beach continues down the path that we are today. With that said, let me just go through my checklist. Beach census still easy, honestly. And I'd just like to thank all the directors for their help. And again, apologize for any issues that we may have been having with our residents. Know that we're learning this as we go along. We are human, we do make mistakes, but hopefully we fix them right away and they aren't that big of an inconvenience to you. And thank you for trusting me to continue to serve as your manager as we get through this COVID-19. I will also answer this. I do not know what's gonna happen. The governor, if you watched him today with the president, did not indicate what he's gonna do with the stay-at-home order. The stay-at-home order ends on the 1st of May. So unless he extends it, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the governor. The county mayor has indicated that he's not going to extend the stay-at-home order. But as we all know, he kind of has been going back and forth. So right now, the safer-at-home order ends on the 1st. I cannot give you an answer today as to whether or not it's gonna be extended because neither the governor nor the county has indicated that they're going to do so. Our safer-at-home order is being amended by Executive Order number 3, which we received tonight, and which will be on our website as soon as this meeting is over. So we will be governed in Golden Beach, we'll be governed by Executive Order number 3, or whatever the county or the governor does. I just don't have an answer for you as to what they're leaning towards as it relates to staying at home and essential personnel. So I apologize for that. With that said, I know that I was long-winded. That's the end of my report.
Town manager. Before we go to council comments, town attorney, Steve, do you have anything? Any update? You got to unmute.
Yeah, that's good. No, I just wanted to let the council know that we have had some people who within the town who've been very difficult and not complying with the regulations. We're taking appropriate action in all of those instances, and I'm working with the manager and the mayor in dealing with those individuals.
Is that it, Steve?
That's it.
Thank you, and thank you for your help on all those issues. With that,
Yep.
I'll go to council comments. I'll start with Vice Mayor Einstein.
Thank you, Glenn. First of all, town manager, great job. Mayor, great job. Staff, great job. Maintenance, tremendous job. Police, thanks for being out there. Our first responders, thanks for all of your help. I think everybody in the community recognize it, and maybe at 5 o'clock we'll start beating our tin pans at one day. But anyway, on a micro level, I discussed this with Alex. My son, who has a lot more training in this, and in terms of what can we do as a community. I mean, we are doing whatever we can as a community. What they're doing on a national level and on a state level, they're doing, and everybody has criticism. Well, we need more testing. We need more this. One thing that comes across and that my son has read, and I believe that we as influencers, and if you can take one thing away from me today, is that he claims that if 60% of the world wore a mask at the same time for 1 month, this disease would be eradicated. That means people who have COVID and people who don't have COVID, 60%, not everybody, but 60% wore it. So I can't stress enough that when we go out and go back into the community, that we have our friends, families, whatever, as we go back in there, to stress that we all can do that. That's a simple thing. We can't get everybody to get tested. We can't tell the government, get more tests. We can, but is it going to happen? Probably not. But getting people to wear masks is probably something that we can legitimately do. Maintaining the space, yes. And Taiwan, who seems to be the most effective country getting a handle on this, it seems as though their phone tracing was one of the main keys. Their phone tracing, their testing, and also limiting the amount of people that were coming into their country. But also the masks. I mean, look at Asia. Look at all those countries before us. They've been doing this for a couple of years, not so much based on the COVID, but based on SARS and I think based on the flu. So I think that it is going to be a little crazy for us to do, but I think that once we do this and prior to us getting a vaccine or some therapeutic out there, I think it'll be something that we all can do on a, relatively non-cost basis. The town, I've been walking the town doing 5-6 miles. I can say one thing, Alex. I think our roads that we did and repaved couldn't have come at a more timely manner. They are so smooth, they're like glass. And it's really a pleasure to walk around town. And the town is absolutely gorgeous. As I walk around it, look at it, and what the maintenance staff has been able to do. I would suggest, it seems like for some reason, bike riders, if there's some persons outside of some, not our maintenance people, but some of the lawn maintenance people I've observed aren't wearing a mask, and I know we discussed that this morning. It seems like a lot of bicyclists, I guess, are don't wear masks. And I would just like to stress that mask thing, and I don't want to belabor it, but one of the things they're finding out is that the aerosol from someone coughing or when it gets airborne, it can go up to 20 to 25 feet. And they're really not sure how long it stays airborne. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that if you look around and try to say, well, how come this thing is so contagious? There's something going on there. It's not like you're touching a surface and you're doing that. There's something very contagious about this disease. And I think it's, the airborne particles that are in a good part doing this. But with that being said, that's my 2 cents with regard to this. Overall, kudos to the entire town. I think we're doing on our part a great job, especially the staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Einstein. Councilman Mandel?
Yeah, so I just want to really echo what Councilman Einstein said. The mayor, the town manager have done a fantastic job. It hasn't been easy an easy past few weeks, but they've done an exceptional job. And I've been hearing that across the board, as well as Mr. McCoy, Chief Rebello, and their teams have done a spectacular job as well. So thank you guys very much for that. I did have a few concerns coming in, but the executive order cleared a lot of it up, so I won't get into that. The only thing I would ask is for the town manager to clarify a couple things when he has a chance. He mentioned 9 cases, but are they 9 active cases, or they're just total cases that we've had? So if you could clarify that up. As far as the May 6th construction easing, what does that entail, and what does the May 11th entail? If you could get into some more detail of that, because I've been getting some questions with regards to construction from several residents. In terms of what Councilman Einstein just said, I believe that while exercising, you're not required to wear a mask. I'll let the town manager clarify that as to what the executive order says. And I've also been getting a few questions on the A1A sidewalk guardrails that we have up. Would they be coming down on, I guess, tomorrow, or would those be staying up? And that's it for me.
Mayor, if I can, let me answer those questions.
That's fine. Go on, town manager.
Okay. So on the 6th, what we're going to allow is, as part of our reopening of construction sites now have new requirements that need to be on site and ready before their crews come in. So we're going to allow for 3 days of prepping the site for that. That's installing hand sanitizing stations, installing sinks where they can wash their hands, making sure the porta potties have a way to clean them, making sure that there's racks for mask distribution and glove distribution, making sure there's an area where the employees can eat that are 6 feet apart from each other, because we're not allowing people to eat in the right of way. Once the people get on the sites, they're required to stay within the fence. Once we see people outside of the fence during construction, the site gets closed. So there has to be areas for people to eat, for those activities to occur.
Also, we're not going to allow food trucks into town.
Correct. There's no more food truck. You have to bring your own meals. So areas have to be prepared, inspected, before we could say, okay, we're going to reactivate the permit of a certain site. So we're going to give everyone 3 days to do that. On the 11th, those sites that are ready to commence will be allowed to commence under the new guidelines. And all of the construction project managers have been in contact with Linda as it relates to what's going to happen the 6th through the 11th. They've been in contact with Linda as it relates to what happens with our permitting process and what the expectations are on the 11th. And let me be very clear to everyone. One warning, and then we shut you down. If you're as a construction site, you're responsible for the actions of your laborers. It's not the laborers that's responsible. The foreman and the construction managers are responsible. So if there's a sub that comes in and their employees are not wearing their mask, and they've already been given a warning for another sub, they're closed. And when we close, the mayor and I will come up with the penalties as how long that is. Every construction site is responsible for managing their sites. The 9 cases, I don't know if they're active or inactive, but the health department doesn't give me that type of data. They just tell me when it goes up. I don't know where they are. The mayor's correct. Councilman Rendell is correct. Councilman Einstein, you are allowed to take off your mask when you're running or cycling. That's allowed for running or cycling, or if you're 6 feet apart. So if you're 6 feet apart, the county order says you're allowed to take off your mask. And the A1A sidewalk closure, that date has not been set by the mayor and I. We talked about it yesterday. Everyone will see it when we take the barricades down. But people are just walking around the barricades. I mean, everyone's just kind of, but that the mayor and I haven't decided, but it's probably going to be sooner than later.
But just so everyone knows, if they lift the stay-at-home order, the barricades will automatically come up. Reason why we did put the barricades up, Councilman Mandel, was to limit the traffic on A1A for the homes on the ocean and on the dry side. So as the stay-at-home order is lifted, it will come up, and then town manager and I will discuss if it comes up prior to that. With that, I'll go to Councilman Bernstein. Ken, mute.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Sorry.
First off, I can't say give strong enough compliments to the town, the staff, the mayor, the city manager, the police department, police chief, public works. I just think that our city is just performing remarkably. When I talk to people all across the country, the fact that we're able to get around and people are able to exercise and stay safe, it's just such a different experience than so many other people I've been talking to across the country. And I think, so many of the accolades just go to the people who've been dealing with this. So I just, again, want to echo everyone's comments and say that I think the construction stuff keeps coming up. But I saw that, Alex, I got another memo, which sounds really good. That, and I know a lot of people who are doing construction will be happy that they can get 2 people in next week to start looking. One of the questions I've been getting is about exercising and the hours. I'm not sure if the hours, if people are able to exercise at night anymore, if the 10 o'clock curfew is still going to be in effect, or if that's going to stop. And the fact that the city has provided so many indispensable items during this that have been so difficult to get, I think is also remarkable that you guys had the foresight to do it. So just wanted to give my compliments and just say what a remarkable job I think everyone's doing. Thank you. About the darkness.
In response to that, so the executive order by the county mayor only allows parks to be open from sunrise to sunset. So as it relates to exterior park use, sunrise to sunset, our curfew will be lifted when the stay-at-home order is lifted. So curfew gets lifted when the stay-at-home order gets lifted. Exercising in parks, sunrise to sunset.
So would people be like, if people are able to walk on the sidewalks at night until 10 o'clock? Is that the
That's correct. Yeah. So you can still do you can still behave the way you're behaving today up to curfew time, but inside of a park only till sunset. So that's and we can be stricter. So we can say we can close at 4, but we're not. But we can't be less lenient. So sunrise to sunset for park use, walking through curfew. Curfew gets lifted when the stay-at-home order gets lifted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Councilwoman Luskin. I didn't forget about you.
You would. Oh, wait.
Can't hear you. No.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. First, as everyone else did, I'd like to thank everyone that works in town and all the residents in town for making this difficult time as best we could. I don't know if you noticed this, and it's not critical, but because there's been no construction, very little landscapers around and the streets are empty, 80 to 90% of the residents are strolling around early in the morning, at night, and enjoying Golden Beach. And in case you haven't noticed, the birds, the butterflies, the green parrots that used to be around from all the construction, they're all over town. So Golden Beach, in spite of it all, really feels like paradise now. Number one, I'd like to remind everybody, if they do want COVID testing, that Aventura COVID, that website, if you still go on it, you can make arrangements for a test, and it is very simple, easy, safe, and clean. So if you haven't done that and you want it, that is still available. Two, Mayor, I thought when you were describing when the beaches would open up, I thought you said Labor Day. Did you mean Memorial Day?
I meant Memorial Day,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Memorial
All right.
Day.
The building department, Alex, I see is going to open up Wednesday and Fridays now for permits and building information. Is that the only days town hall will be open, or will town hall be open starting Monday full time? I guess you can answer that later. And the only other thing I'll comment on is that I'm very glad we clarified the ID situation, because there were some residents that were a little upset, and I think we got on that and realized what really needed to be done. And I think that's it. Thank you all, and everyone, please stay healthy.
Okay, so as it relates to town hall and beaches, so like the mayor said, earliest maybe Labor Day, but it's whenever the beach order gets lifted. So right now, Miami-Dade County controls our beaches, both the beach pavilion, the shorelines, and yes, ocean residents, even your use of your sand and your beaches. So that's number
You
one.
said Labor Day again. It's Labor
Sorry,
Day?
Memorial Day. But whenever
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day,
Okay.
but whenever it gets lifted by the county, so we don't control that.
Okay.
We assume it may be Memorial Day, but we don't know. So just keep that in mind. The building department, that's just this week. And then the town hall hours is all going to be driven based on the stay-at-home order. But all of your town staff have been coming in. We will be open for town hall. We always encourage all of our residents to make phone calls and email us. We're trying to limit the traffic to town hall. Most of your employees, all of your employees have been coming into town hall at least 3 days a week. We've all been working, and we've all been teleworking every day. Next week, what we're trying to do is just limit the public to Wednesday and Friday so that we can start allowing appointments. But as soon as the safer at home order is lifted, that's when we will determine when we'll be allowing regular business in town hall. So just stay posted to your COVID-19 updates.
Thank you. With that, I'll go to good and welfare, then I'll do the consent agenda. So any resident that would like to speak, just identify yourself and your address, and it's open to, you can raise your hand. I see David Long, go on.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, everybody. Judy, I think you made a good point. The ironic thing about this this shutdown is I feel like more than ever we're getting to know our other neighbors, and that's one of the good points about it. Two questions from me though. First on the building department, Wednesday and Friday, does that mean we could go and get permits tomorrow for something if we've got something coming up, or is it next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Okay, got it. And what are the hours for that?
It's by appointment only, and you'll be going onto the town's website to make an appointment. So on the town's website, there's an appointment calendar, and it's by appointment only, so that we can limit the people. And if you can't figure out the appointment on the website, call town hall, and we'll schedule you in.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll do. Okay. The name of our city is Golden Beach. I suppose the beach shutdown is because of Dade County. And it just seems to me like of all the things that there seems to be very little risk of passing this virus. It would seem to me to be the beach, where we have ultraviolet light, we have heat, we have humidity, we have fresh air.
Right. It's not our call at this time, and all the communities from Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach are trying to stick together, and they're all abiding by the ordinance, the stay at home, and including the beaches are closed. Hopefully
again-
they'll open sooner, but for now they're closed.
And again, I just want to emphasize two things. One, we can be stricter than the county, but we can't be less lenient. So until the county lifts that order, we have zero say on allowing people to use the beach. Now, once they lift it, if we still want to remain closed, we can. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, well, I would hope, I would just be one vote to open it as soon as we can, because I think that's a great feature of our town. It's very unique. And to me, at least as a non-scientific or medical person, it seems like very low risk of spreading the virus there. That's all I had to say. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? Amy Rojas, go on. Sorry.
I can unmute. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. A couple questions. So once construction begins, will the inspection process be different? Will that be virtual? How will that work?
No. So we find that you can't see dimensions in a video, right? And I can't trust that a picture that is taken of drywall screws is done in Golden Beach and not Miami Lakes. So we will have inspectors come on with personal protective equipment. We will not sacrifice the quality of our inspections because of this outbreak. So what may happen is that the inspector will go to your site, ask everyone to step away, and we physically go in and do the inspections. We will not sacrifice the quality of work that we expect in Golden Beach from our contractors because of COVID-19. I've had conversations with my counterparts in other cities, and there's been a lot of switch and bait where they send pictures of certain projects and come to behold, it was another unit in a building or another project. We won't allow that here. We don't have the resources to verify timestamps on pictures and stuff like that. So we will be doing physical inspections.
Okay, and I have one other question. For work that hasn't commenced yet, but is already permitted, do people need to contact Linda to find out what, if any, steps they need to take to start?
No, so if you have an active permit in hand, call your contract, call your sub, in your case, roofing, I believe it is, and I'm sorry for sharing that with everyone. Call them and say, hey, come Monday. If you don't have a permit in hand, so if you physically don't have your permit, you need to come and pick up your permit because your permit is required to be, typically if you don't have your permits because you haven't paid yet, and we don't take electronic payment. So you need to come in and pick up your permit. And you get
on Wednesday or Friday?
For permit pickup, you need to schedule an appointment on Wednesday or Friday. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Anybody else? There's several people that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Glenn, it's Penny. I have my hand up. I was
Sure.
going to comment on this, on the reason that the beaches should be closed and not open up right away to all people, because we've seen that happen at other places like Hallover, which had that craziness and spread corona everywhere, and Jacksonville beaches as well. It's the social distancing part of the beach that we need to be able to reinforce, and I'm not sure, can our beach attendants do that, is my question.
Well, at this
But
time,
that
we don't
would-
have to worry about it because the beach is closed. So once the beach opens, the town manager and I will try to put together a set of rules that will be easy enough to follow, so we prevent or we help, we can maintain the social distancing. It's a concern of everybody, and that's the reason why City of Miami doesn't want to open, or Dade County doesn't want to open the beaches.
Exactly. That's why Mayor Jimenez is being so careful about doing this, because he knows that the beaches will be populated immediately. So I can respect we do the same thing.
Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else would like to speak? Okay, anybody? I don't see a lot of people. I see their phone numbers. So if you'd like to speak, you could speak up. If not,
Let's unmute everyone real quick, just in case it isn't. All right. Does anyone wish to speak? Say your name and we'll unmute you separately. Okay, let's unmute everyone again.
okay. With that, Okay, with that, I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. The following items are on the consent agenda, the 4 items. Item number 1, official minutes of the February 18th, 2020 special council meeting. Item number 2, official minutes of the March 26, 2020 special town council meeting via conference call. Item number 3, official minutes of the April 7th, 2020 special town council Zoom virtual meeting. Item number I4, resolution of town council approving a proposal provided by Southeastern Engineering Contract for the water meter box adjustment. Those 4 items on the consent agenda. I need everyone to unmute. All the council in favor say aye. I can't hear anybody.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Appreciate that.
Mayor, before you adjourn.
With that, we'll go into discussion items. Town manager, you have any?
Yeah, so a couple of quick things. I just want to make sure that council get your calendars out. And the attorney's here. So the Zoom meeting authority actually sets to expire on May 8th, unless he extends it. So I'm hoping that we'll have another Zoom meeting to approve the audit. I'm not sure, whether it's going to be before the 8th. So we're going to have a meeting for the audit, which will be scheduled by Lisette as soon as Maria has the audit finished. We're hoping we'll get the audit finished sometime this week. So maybe early next week that we have another Zoom meeting for only approving the audit. And then we will have a special town council meeting for business. Instead of it being the week of May 19th, which is when we typically would have our meeting, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting for Tuesday, May 26th. Whether it's in person or via Zoom will be determined by the governor. So the May 26th meeting will be determined by the governor because if he does not extend his order, it'll be in person. So we will have
at 7 p.m.
That one, irrespective of whether it's Zoom or not, will be at 7 p.m.
Okay, anything else, town manager? What?
No.
Lisette, unmute everybody. Does anyone else have any comments?
Yeah, Glenn, real quickly, are the public restrooms going to be open now or?
No, they were not.
Okay.
Okay, with that, I'm going to call the mission. Anyone want to speak? I'm sorry.
Could I say something?
Yes.
I just want the resident to know because while we work during our 4 workday week, a lot of people are asking us about bulk pickup. And we come back to work next week, basically full time. I wouldn't mind if they call in and make appointment pickup because we only have 1 truck that can pick up stuff, and a lot of residents was coming to me about it. So I would like. I'm asking Michael to probably send out a memo or something to let them know that we're going to do bulk pickup starting back next week again. Excellent. But just by appointment only because we don't want to get bombarded. We don't have enough space on the trash truck to pick up whatever they have to put out to the curb.
Good point, Kurt. Thank you.
And one other comment I want to make, that when we do open up the full landscaping, don't forget hurricane season is around the corner. So I urge everybody to start preparing their home, whether it be cut the coconuts, trim the trees. Let's not wait till the last minute. I don't want to say anything. We'll probably get over the coronavirus and then have a hurricane, God forbid. But anyways, so try to be proactive. And now that we're going to open it up to landscapers, full landscapers, please try to schedule and get your property as ready as possible. So with that, if there's no other comment, I'll call the adjourn the meeting. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone participating. Stay safe. Bye, guys.
I guess.